Flame and Steel, Neosarmatia. Chapter 1. A Meeting Among the Stars. At the outer rim of the Neosarmatia sector, along the broken lattice of abandoned star routes, law had become a distant memory. Only scattered corporate patrols dared to venture into the voids where the old colonies had fallen and new powers rose unchallenged. Captain Jon Sarven, an officer of the border guard, was among the few who still upheld outdated codes of duty. Piloting his light reconnaissance ship, Cormorant, he moved alone through the debris-choked corridors between dying worlds. His orders were simple: monitor the old trade lanes, report anomalies, engage only if survival was guaranteed. The Cormorant glided past derelict satellites whose warning lights flickered like dying stars. John registered faint distress signals on the old analog bands, relics from a time before the hypernet had turned communication into pulses of encrypted thought. The signal was weak but persistent. Protocol dictated indifference. Curiosity, and perhaps something older buried deep in human instinct, dictated action. He adjusted his course toward the source. The station was barely operational, a minor transfer hub orbiting a dead world. As he approached, Cormorant's sensors picked up 3 life signatures: 2 human, 1 cybernetic. Docking was rough. The stabilizers of the station had long ceased compensating for rotational drift. Inside, he found them: 2 men, rough in appearance, and a disassembled maintenance drone whose core still blinked weakly. The first man was massive, with a mechanical prosthesis grafted crudely where a human arm once was. His face was scarred, the skin puckered from radiation burns. He introduced himself without ceremony: Radko Vron, former lieutenant of the colonial militia, now apparently a mercenary of uncertain loyalties. The second man, slimmer, with ocular implants glittering under his hood, named himself Nick Zalotny, a transport pilot by his own account, specializing in acquisition and delivery of restricted goods. John weighed his options with methodical detachment. Protocol demanded their arrest and immediate transportation to the nearest tribunal outpost. But there was no functional tribunal. There was no functioning anything beyond the autonomous enclaves and private fortresses of the new lords of the frontier. He lowered his weapon. "You'll board Cormorant. No questions. No arguments," he said, voice modulated for clarity through his helmet speaker. They transferred what little salvage they had: a few energy cells, a crate of ancient tech, personal gear. Then they sealed the airlock behind them, leaving the wreck to the cold indifference of space. Once aboard, John piloted Cormorant toward the shadow of the planetary ring. Here, debris clouds provided some cover from long-range scans. It was only after the ship stabilized in its drift orbit that Vron, folding his mechanical arms across his chest, spoke again. "You don't know what you've walked into, Captain." "I don't intend to," John replied evenly. But the universe, governed less by law than by probability, had other plans. From Nick Zalotny's battered satchel, a faint pulse of encrypted light flashed, momentarily detected by Cormorant's security subroutines. An unregistered data core. Origin: Deep Sarmatia Quadrant. Classification: Priority Black. Prohibited by at least 6 corporate edicts and 2 archaic Earth Accords. In the heart of the core were maps of the old vaults buried beneath the dead colonies, fragments of treaties predating the corporate wars, proof that Neosarmatia's enclaves had once been promised sovereignty. It was not gold, nor even technology that Radko and Nick had salvaged. It was legitimacy, the kind of leverage that could resurrect a revolution. And in the cold calculus of the frontier, Jon Sarven understood one immutable law. Anyone caught between power and rebellion did not survive long enough to regret it. He leaned back in his pilot's chair, staring at the endless glitter of stars beyond the cracked viewport. Choices were narrowing, like a ship drifting into the event horizon,